Day 12. Who would have thought? Even I didn't think that I would get to day 12 because my original goal with my water only fasting, well, the original goal was going to be 13 days maximum. That was the original goal. Then I decided to look up fasting on YouTube, water fasting. And then I saw some people, oh, they did it for 15 days. And other people did it for 30 days. Another person did it for 45 days. One person did it for 50 days. And then there was an ex-football player that did it for 100 days and lost 100 pounds. Well, my ideal weight for my frame is about 170. And I weighed 263. So that's 97 pounds. That's a good goal. That's just a good goal. So if I weighed 263 and I want to go down to 93 pounds, 93 pounds. I need to lose 93 pounds. So 93 pounds in 100 days, the few people that have done this 100-day fast have reduced their weight by over 100 and 100 plus pounds. So now I'm reading and watching videos and saying, well, if they could do it, I could do it, because that's just the way I look at life. So I'm going to go 100 days, or I'm going to lose 93 pounds. One or the other is true. And if I don't get there for some reason, which I've looked up the symptoms and possible complications with water-only fasting, I have none of those. One of the symptoms would be weakness if you walk. Everybody on my channel has told me on a daily basis the symptoms that are possible for fasting. One of them is dizziness. I've not gotten dizzy. Another symptom could be nausea. I've never been nauseous. Never have I been nauseous. What I need to do is you need to give me a moment. I want to just do something here. So my plan is to, I need to do just one more thing. Please just hold on a moment, please. To get to my channel so I can see if there's comments. The internet here today, well, we have a big holiday coming up. A big holiday. It's called all of Bohol has a FIESTA this week and next week. So all of Bohol pretty much, unless they're needed for work-related jobs, a lot of people take off this week to cook food for their families and prepare food for the FIESTA. And a lot of people are on the internet. And prepare food for the... Okay, finally. Since I put you guys on temporary hold, it took 90 seconds to get to my page. So, the symptoms of problems for fasting for more than a few days, and certainly more than 5 days, are nausea. I've never been nauseous. Dizziness. I've not gotten dizzy. Weakness after doing some sort of physical activity. Well, 2 days ago, I walked a mile out in the hot sun, pretty much continuous. I walked around the fish market, and I did a live stream, and then I walked outside, and then I walked through the mall. So I walked a mile, and I never got weak. So we have to, at this point, because it's in the title, because it's in the title, Tuna Kahuna. We're going to give a shout out to Tuna Kahuna, who's he's a blogger, and he lives in Canada. and he has shorts, and we're going to give you his link. So thank you, Tuna Kahuna, for the most generous super chat that you sent during the premiere of my live stream of the fresh fish, pork, fruits, and vegetable market. Salamat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, Tuna Kahuna. So let's get Tuna Kahuna's link up on the channel, and then I'll pin it to the top, because he actually is a blogger and has dozens and dozens of short little videos on his channel, and some of them are pretty cool, actually. So let's go over here. I gotta go now. You're gonna have to wait again. Oh boy, the internet in the Philippines. When you guys come to the Philippines, I bet you're gonna wish you could bring your internet provider, because we're talking all this time right now just to turn the page, just to flip the page. It's an amazing thing. And it's still not loaded. So let me give you the video link. I have that one up. Let me give you the video link of the fresh fish market across the street from the ICM Mall, where you can buy fresh fish, fresh pork, and fresh fruits and vegetables. And then I will give you the Tuna Kahuna link, because that's what I want to do. Okay, so I try to give everybody a shout out. Flying Circus was on my page last night. Okay, so across the street from the ICM Mall, and I will show you Tuna Kahuna's page in a moment, and to show you that he does actually have many videos up. I do believe he actually owns a company that sells fish in Canada, fresh fish, lobster, and whatever fresh fish products are available in Canada, he sells. Okay, so the link is going up 3 times for Tuna Kahuna, and then we're going to pin one of those to the top of the page, and then we do that like this, and then we, come on, go away. This YouTube makes everything so difficult. They've been changing everything around on YouTube, so things are slower also. Flying Circus says, I had too many beers. They asked me to leave. Okay, later. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, Flying Circus. So, another of the complications from fasting for more than 5 days, well, somebody said headaches. Right? I very rarely ever had a headache in my whole life. Very rarely did that ever happen. Unless you have an injury or something like that, or you're, I don't really get headaches. A lot of people get headaches on a regular basis. I don't. So I don't get headaches. I don't have any nausea. I don't have any dizziness. On day 12, I have none of the symptoms. And I see my friend Scott Del Fuego, who's been guiding me in this process of telling me about ketosis and autophagy. Autophagy is when you don't eat after 5 days. Your body starts to feed on dead skin cells like scar tissue and cancerous cells that are in your body. Now, that's what Scott said, and that's what quite a few people said. It's not something you can see right off the bat, but it is something that people agree on. Another thing that people agree on is that you need nutrients. Michael Skinny Carpenter Fazio of Howard Beach Crew. Which crew are you talking about, Scott? I had so many different crews. So I had crews on the barge. At one time, I owned a construction company, a deck and dock building company. At one time, I had sometimes 2 crews going out, and the crew that I would work with. So I would have sometimes, back in the mid-'80s, sometimes 3 crews would go out in different directions. I got to be honest with you, when you send men off on their own, they're not going to accomplish half the work that they will if you're there. So I tried to limit that to just a few of the best men I ever had working for me. Jimmy Hardbody Ennis and Johnny McGrain, the 2 hardest working men that ever worked for me, ever. John McGrain could do more work. Pound for pound was the strongest man that ever worked for me. Jimmy was second. And if you put the both of them on some sort of laborious task, that's what they liked. They like digging holes. They like moving rock. They like bringing 20 tons of rock from the front of the house to the back of the house. And I have pictures of all of this. So if you hear of a small blogging channel say, Fazio doesn't have, never did anything that he says, just remember where it's coming from. It's coming from an unaccomplished personality. So moving on, after day 5, I don't have any of those 5 possible setbacks: nausea, headache, weakness, and hunger pains. That's gone. Hunger is a thing of the past. It's like I don't even need food anymore. Like I did 2 days ago when I was walking through the market. Your smell, because I also quit smoking 618 days ago. And I never had another cigarette, never took a puff out of another cigarette. I never, not even once, because I have willpower. There's a lot of people out there that have no willpower. They're weak in many ways. They're weak. Like they can't say, I'm going to go on a diet and lose a few inches off my waist, because that to them is too much. There are other types of weakness where people can't quit smoking no matter how many times they tried. I have an aunt. I may still have an aunt. Oh boy, Allo de Winter. Allo de Winter has a show on. If you want to go, have at it. He's going to talk to Van Turner. Van Turner, that's a guy that lives, I forgot the name of the beach, famous beach up in the Philippines. So Allo's show just started. If you want to go to the one and only, one of the greats, Allo de Winter, feel free to go and have fun. Tell him I said hello and tell him I sent you. Because Allo and I are going to be doing a lot of stuff in the future together. We're going to not necessarily anything AI like Expat Trash of the Philippines did, but we are going to expose some bloggers on YouTube for their foibles. Let's call it foibles. So that's going to happen. And then, of course, we have Batman coming to the Philippines. Batman has been a very famous figure in the YouTube community who's also friends with Batman. And he's coming to the Philippines with a satchel of knowledge. And he's going to distribute that knowledge to various places in the Philippines. Some of those places he will share the knowledge with when he gets to municipalities such as mayor's offices and also police departments. He has a plethora of videos that he's not going to send out, but he's going to bring personally to various agencies in the Philippines. So if you have been a naughty boy and you have been critical of other bloggers and you have been embarrassed about something you said, let's take, for instance, Eric Dower. Oh, take that back. No, take that back. I didn't mean to say that. Let's take, for instance, that guy that lives in Cebu that was passing his old lady around like candy at a church festival. That's the guy I meant to talk about. And you posted 26 videos of your wife or your girlfriend or your concubine on YouTube kissing other women. Batman has those videos if you did something like that. So you should understand that what you do on YouTube is public and that people have videos of everything that you've done. If you talked about a girl in Mindanao, then you should understand. And if you degraded her, then you should understand. People have videos and clips of that. If you've done dastardly stuff on YouTube, talking about hiring people to go next door and live in hotels next door to other people to harass them, people have videos of that now. If you've done those type of things, of course, you should expect, if you've done those type of things, to be called out on the carpet for those things. So moving back to the video at hand, on day 12, I have no hunger. So I have 97. I have 88 more days to go to the 100-day mark, or I don't know what my weight is. I'm thinking I probably lost at least 10 pounds in 12 days. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm going to go for 100 pounds. So just remember that there are signs to look for if you're on a fasting diet. Headache, nausea, dizziness means that something is lacking in your body, and you have to consume salt. I'm consuming a teaspoon of salt per day, every day. A little in the morning, a little in the afternoon, and a little at night. So I'm maintaining my salt because that will dehydrate you if you don't have salt. Now, the other thing that I'm doing this week is that my landlord and the barangay captain where I live are having, and the brother of the barangay captain and my landlord, they're having a fiesta. I'm collecting super chat, and I'm going to give them half of the money I collect this week. So I'll show you what I collected so far, including Tuna Kahuna. Scott Del Fuego says, Dennis Adam, common courtesy would be to click the like button if you enjoy the live stream. Thank you. It's free. And Dennis, it looks like it's working because I have 10 thumbs up. Thank you for that. So I'm collecting some super chat, and I'll mention this 3 or 4 times. So far, this is what I got. Let's see. I have 20 from John Blaze, $5 from Lotto Retirement Strategist. That's 25. $50 from the Bantallion Brawler. That's 75. $10 from Lotto Strategist. That's 95. And 20 from Tuna Kahuna That's $115 I've collected. My landlord and the barangay captain, who are the same, the barangay captain is my landlord, they will get in their hand half of the money I collect to go towards food for them feeding as many as 2 or 3 and possibly 400 people during the course of the fiesta day itself. And you'll see, I'm going to live stream it, and you'll see people constantly back and forth from 7 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. There'll be a constant flow of people, and I will be there. I'm going to take the drone out, and the children like to watch me play with the drone. So there'll be some aerial surveillance of the event, and so far they're going to get half less YouTube's commission. So half of, let's say, 120 is 60 less 30%. So that's $40. That's 2,000 pesos from my landlord so far. And then on the day of, we will still be collecting. And then at some time during dinner time or thereafter, I will get the barangay captain, his mother, my landlord, they are both my landlord, and the other 2 brothers, and we'll all stand in front of the house and I'll hand them the cash in person so you know where it went. And if it's, for some reason, if it's raining or something like that, then I will make a video, because sometimes when it rains, we don't have internet. That's why I say that. So at some point, they will be getting the money, and if it's not live streamed, it'll be in the form of a video format. So thanks for everybody that has donated. Anybody that wants to continue to donate, we are welcome. And anybody that does donate the day of, all that money, or half of that money, will go to my landlord. Now, if anybody has a question about fasting and what I've gone through with fasting, let me know, and I'll answer the question. Because I think with all the assistance I've gotten with the people online and all of the advice that I've gotten online and all of the reading and research I've done, I have not taken any nutrients or vitamin supplements. Nothing. I feel fine. And I think I'm going to be fine throughout the whole thing. I tried to buy vitamins the other day at a drugstore. They didn't have any vitamins. I tried to buy vitamins inside the BQ Mall. They didn't have any vitamins. With something, magnesium something, as a main ingredient. And I tried to buy potassium chloride, which is imitation salt. They didn't have that either. So all I'm consuming is the juice from about 3 of these little calamanses each day, and about 3 or 4 liters of water. Now, if I put one of these, I squeeze half of this into this container, it's almost too strong. That's how much your taste buds increase. Typically, I'll put one of these in one whole bottle, 1,000 milliliters. This is 1,000 milliliters. Typically, I'll put half of this in this, and that will be enough flavor for that whole bottle. But this morning, I took the other half of this calamansi. It's like a lime, and I put it in this bottle. It's almost too strong to drink. I might have to dilute it. I think I will. I think I'll dilute it. I think I'll mix it in with this, because I don't want to spoil myself with flavor. And I don't want to spoil myself. So I mixed it in with this. So that's one. And now we'll put this one in there, and I'll be good to go. Watch this. See this little bit of juice. It's probably not even 1/8 of an ounce. It's probably less than that. But I will tell you, I cheat. I chew all the juice out of the inside of the lime. Then I get rid of that. The hair with the inside. I don't want to spoil myself. I don't want to eat anything at all. I ate a few of them the first day. They're really good. Oh, God. You have no idea how good something like that tastes after 3 days of not eating. A lime, the peel of a lime tastes like filet mignon. Very strong, very powerful, very powerful. Let's see if we have any comments. Almost too strong for me. It's almost too powerful. Let's see. Scott, 11 bubbles, 4 gulps. Real men drinking on a fast. Hey, I've really not cheated. I know you hear stories. There's a guy out there. Well, there's a man out there. Not much. And he says that I'm still smoking after 618 days. Imagine what he's doing is he's projecting his weakness on other people. He can't stop smoking. Therefore, everybody else can't stop smoking. That's a weakness, that you can't stop smoking, just like that. Bang. My aunt went through that. I started talking about that before. He also believes that I'm still drinking alcohol while I'm doing the live streams. He's also projecting, although he doesn't drink alcohol. No, he plays golf. He plays golf. You know, when you go and you're on the golf course and you're on the green and you chip, you use a chipping putter? That's what he does, little chips. So, has my skin changed at all? Says, what's up? I'm not real sure what you mean. What do you mean, my skin? What is the question about my skin? Going at the colostomy like a hyena on a zebra carcass. Wait a second. What does that mean? I'm not real sure what that means. Let me look at that word. I know what. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong word. Let's check it out. Colostomy. There's no word. Scott made a spelling error. Today's a big day on YouTube. Scott made a spelling error. Going at the calamansi. I can't even spell that word. Calamansi like a hyena at a zebra. I can't even spell calamansi. I could look it up. The fruit. Calamansi. Yeah, I have no idea how to spell that. Let's look that up. Calamansi. CALAMANCIE. calamansi lime. Let's try that. Calamansi lime. Oh, here it is, right here. Calamansi lime benefits. Wow, I did, because it's Filipino fruit. Let's take a look. Yeah, there it is. Calamansi, the benefits. And this fella just asked about the skin. Wow, there's a lot of benefits to that. I had no idea. Look at that. Look at the benefits. Health benefits of calamansi. Calamansi. Makes skin lighter. Helps fight swelling. Helps make collagen. Helps make the immune system stronger. Reduces mucus, regulates sugar level, and detoxifies your body. Well, I ought to put that in the... Look at Dennis. Look at Dennis. Look at Dennis. Look at Dennis with the proper spelling. Okay, yeah, well, I would like to eat the calamansi, the whole lime, because it's, if I ate one of those, the skin off of one of that little one like that, I don't know if my stomach would fill up. It might fill up my stomach. Once I went 10 days without eating, and the first time I ate, I ate 4 grapes and about two spoons of Kellogg's cornflakes, and I couldn't eat any more. My first meal, the first meal I want to have is going to be, I have my heart set. I love cheeseburgers. I just love them. When I went to Bantayan Island last time, there was a place called the Cuckoo Bar and Grill. Let me get that up on the screen. They make the best cheeseburger in the Philippines. Now, there was another place that made a cheeseburger similar. Let's look this up. There was another place in the Philippines, right here in Alona Beach, but that place is gone. Hey, buddy says, is this your first fast? Sorry if you already mentioned that. All right, hold on. But why did you decide to fast for so long? Well, okay, so I weigh 263 pounds and I'm 5'6". Apparently I shrunk an inch when I went to the doctor a couple of weeks ago. So I'm supposed to be 170 or 160. So that's my optimal weight. So if that's my optimal weight, why shouldn't I, if I'm going to fast, I may as well just go and get down to that weight. Why should I do this 2 or 3 times? Because the first 3 or 4 days is really a heck of a pain in the neck. The hunger pains, the nauseousness. I don't want to do that again. So I'm not going to do it again. I'm going to fast until I lose 93 pounds. Okay, so here is, if you have another question, feel free to ask. So here's the Cuckoo Bar and Grill, right here, baby. And I'll be going to the Cuckoo Bar and Grill when I get off my fast. I have another, this is, I don't know that I'll stay here, because the last time I went, Daisy and I tried to get a hotel room here, and it was booked up. So we stayed, and I wanted to stay on the water anyway, and there's no view of the water from this hotel. Let's see the next picture. They have a beautiful restaurant there, and The bathrooms were brand new. The week we went, the bathrooms looked like they were put in that particular week. They have a massage room. The food there, I had about 4 different entrees. Daisy had 3 different entrees, so I tasted 7. My heart was set on a cheeseburger deluxe with lettuce, tomato, pickles, mayonnaise, and ketchup on a toasted sesame seed bun with French fries well done. And that's what I had probably 5 out of the 6 nights I was on Bantayan Island. So this is a beautiful place. I don't play pool, but they have a pool table there. This is the front of the restaurant, the Cuckoo Bar and Grill. And now, like I said, this place makes the best cheeseburger that I've been able to find in the Philippines. Even though I said there was a place in Alona Beach, that was 6 years ago. 6 years ago. The place in Alona Beach was called the Outback Bar and Grill. Actually, that was the name of it. And when they sold it to a person that destroyed the business. That guy wasn't in business for more than a few months. And then they sold it again. And did I post? Yeah, I posted that. Okay. So then they sold it again. Let me get out of here. They sold it again, and then the food in there, the third place that they sold it, the food was just not edible at all. When they sold the Outback Bar and Grill in Alona Beach back in 2018, Daisy and I were together, so it was after 2016. They made a hamburger, a 1/3 pound hamburger. It was huge, and it was about 3/4 of an inch thick, and you could order it rare. Okay, so you have a perfect amount of meat, 1/3 of a pound rare, so it's not cooked down to nothingness. Grilled, charbroiled on a grill, on charcoal grill they used. And then the fries were well done, hand cut, wedgie cuts, but they were cut by hand, fresh potatoes. It was the perfect hamburger. And if you had onion rings, they had this thing. It was about this big, about that big, and it was a stainless steel ring. It went up like this, and then down. And they put a stack of onion rings on here about 9.5 inches tall. This is the original Outback Bar and Grill. So you had this many onion rings on a ring. And the bigger rings at the bottom, and then they used an entire onion, basically. So the big rings were at the bottom, and then went up to the smaller rings. And all the rings had double flour. Most people don't know how to make a good onion ring, but you got to put flour on them first. Then you put egg. Then you put flour on them again. Then you put egg again, and then you put breadcrumbs. That's how you make a good onion ring. That's how they made the onion rings. So we went there several times, and that was a perfect hamburger. Then when they sold it, now that you went from a hamburger this thick, like this, 3/4 of an inch. When they sold it, I went back and I didn't know that it had been sold because they don't notify you. And the hamburger was this thick. It was 1/8 of an inch thick. It was the same thickness as a White Castle hamburger. The same exact thickness, 1/8 of an inch thick. It was well done. When I ordered it, I ordered my cheeseburger The menu was the same, cheeseburger deluxe. And I ordered it rare. Well, how do you make a rare hamburger that's an eighth of an inch thick? It's not possible. But then they overcooked it on top of that. And I ordered an onion rings. So that same stack of onion rings that would have been this high was about 2.5 inches high. And that was 250 pesos, $5. And the original onion rings were 250 pesos, but it was a big stack. And they were crispy and tasty, and the way I said, and Daisy ordered some kind of chicken cacciatore, I think it was. That was one of her favorite meals. She didn't like it, but she ate it. So we paid for that. But when I complained about the hamburger, I said, this is not, it's not well done. It was only an eighth of an inch thick. So they took it back. There wasn't a problem with that. But I didn't order anything else because what's the point? I'm going to go someplace else. Across the street, there was a Korean restaurant that made the same hamburger. So I went across the street and got a hamburger after we were done eating. But that was the second one. His place stayed open 6, 7, 8 weeks, whatever it was. He was gone. And the third person that opened it up, we went back again because it said under new ownership. And then the food was worse. I ordered chicken wings, 6 chicken wings. That's what the original restaurant had, 6 nice big chicken wings with the very, very big chicken wings. And you could have a combination of chicken wings and legs. And I ordered that, and it was so overcooked, you couldn't eat it. So that was it. So this is the kind of service you get, and that was the last time I ate there. So what I want when I go back to eating food is I want a good hamburger. So I'm going to travel to Bantayan Island to get the best hamburger in the Philippines. Because the Korean restaurant that used to sell the hamburgers, the last time I was there, did not buy a hamburger, but I said to them, I sat down to get a hamburger, and do you know that they have a rule in the Philippines now? This is before I went to Bantayan Island on my birthday probably last August, a year ago now. They will not cook a hamburger rare anymore, rare hamburger. But the Cuckoo Bar and Grill, apparently that rule doesn't apply on Bantayan Island. So I'm going to travel all the way. And then I have something else that I want to do when I get there as well. A few other things. There's some places that I didn't get to see that I want to go see. And some people that I want to talk to when I get there in regards to some things I heard about myself on YouTube. About banging a pot. I'm going to send your videos. You do that. You do that. Just remember our agreement, and we're going to find out. We're going to test a few things out when we get to Bantayan Island. We're going to test out another restaurant down the block. We're going to test out. I want to go see some of the more influential people on the island, and find out if the things that were said about me on the internet are true. Because I hear stories about people telling people in Bantayan Island, in the place of authority, we have notified the authorities about Michael Thomas Fazio going to Bantayan Island. I'm going to ask him in person. I don't think that you can ban somebody at the port, but we're going to find out. And then if that's the case, then I'll blog that as well. But I don't think, Matt, you know what I could do? I could call them up right now. Maybe I'll do that. Let's look at Tuna Kahuna's page. I gave him a shout out. Tuna Kahuna. let's see, he has 774 subscribers. He has 349 videos. I'm going to go back to the comments in about 30 seconds. And then he has shorts. He does shorts. Some of the shorts are 15 seconds. Some of them are a minute. Some of them, they all have to do with fishing and construction. So apparently this man was in the construction industry, and he likes to do videos about those type of things. And apparently, I believe he owns a fish sales company. So he likes this produce store at the local Brazilian grocery, sugarcane factory. He likes to see blogs on the local stuff where he lives. And even last night, he came to my channel when I was doing a blog about the fish market and donated $20 towards the foods from my landlord. So you could see lobster sandwich, coastal walk along Nova Scotia, Canada, lobster boats. Let's look at that. Let's look at that. I'm going to play that video because I worked on a lobster boat. Unlike So this boat here that you're looking at is very similar to the lobster boat I worked on. Now there are people that stand on a railing next to a boat, in front of the boat, not in work clothes, not with water boots on or no fishing gear on, and they stand in front of the boat and they say, I worked on that boat. And some of those people even claim to be a photographer, but don't have pictures of them working on the boat. I find that to be a little disturbing, to say, I'm a photographer and I never took a picture of the things I did. But I stood in front of a boat and I say, I worked on that boat, and that's probably not true. Or standing in front of a fancy car. It was my car. Look, I'm standing in front of that car. I must own it, right? But for me, it's a little different. I'm at the beach with the car's in back of my house. I got my friends in the car. I got the hood of the car open. I got the registration for the cars that I own in this folder. For me, it's a little different. If I say I owned a car or a boat or an ocean racer or a yacht, the registration's in that package. But today's show is not about that. Today's show is about fasting and the best hamburger in the Philippines. And when I go off that 100-day fast, and I'm going to go 100 days, or I'm going to lose 93 pounds. Now, I'll go back to my channel. Dennis says that's what I weigh, 172. And so I would imagine that Dennis and I are the same height. Thanks, Dennis. Scott's putting up a link for Waterfast. Hey, buddy, I'll get to you in a minute. Let's see what Scott's link is about. Okay, the snake diet. Oh, you know, John Blaze this morning, Scott. So this is the snake diet. This is something that some guy came up with. The fluid that you need to drink during the course of the day. So so Scott put the link up. So go to Scott's link, and this brings you to this page, and it's 3 different chemicals. And John Blaze, I was talking to John Blaze for about 30 minutes earlier this morning. In fact, it has been confirmed. It has been 100% confirmed that John Blaze did, in fact, receive paperwork from the FBI yesterday in America, like that. And unfortunately, for the less than human people on YouTube, I am not part of that paperwork. So I just wanted to share that information with everybody, especially the people that were hoping that it would be me. And I could have told you that yesterday. I could have told you that any day of the week, because I'll tell you why. When I was training to be a police officer in the state of Florida in 1997, they do a full background check on you. And I had no criminal history that would prevent me from being a police officer. No convictions. I had never been arrested. The first time I was ever fingerprinted as an adult in my adult lifetime was when I applied to be a police officer, Marine Patrol agent, to be more specific. FUMP, F-U-M-P, Florida Marine Patrol, FMP, FUMP, that's what they called it. And you had to get fingerprinted. You had to get a background check. I don't know where the background checks went and how I don't remember how I did that, but I did all of that. And then since then, I have no FBI record. But there was a guy pontificating this morning. Maybe it's this guy and maybe it's that guy. You know, you keep throwing those slurs out there at people, those slights. You just can't stop. You just can't stop. Your friend Ken, he said, you're not capable of stopping. And John agrees. John agrees with that statement. So the FBI records are, we had a good laugh with your listening to your show this morning. God, you are a trip, dude. You are a trip. I feel that I was slighted. I have to follow up sometimes. Have at it, little fella. You are a trip, man. So, have at it. It's not me that the FBI report was about. Even if you go and spend a lot of money to research my past, you will find out nothing about my past. First of all, you don't have, and none of the researchers have, the ability to go deep enough to see if there is something, no matter how much money you spend. How do I know this? I know this because I was going to be a police officer. And I know how far background searches are allowed to go into your past. You know, little fella, if you were to walk up to a police officer or into a police station, friends of mine in high places. In America, they're not allowed to run you. They call it running somebody, unless there's probable cause. Now, if you're getting pulled over, they can run you for wants and warrants. But they just can't go on the computer and check out a name. They do it, not anymore. In today's world, that's probably not going to happen because they have to have a reason to look up somebody's records. But even if you spend the money, there's nothing there. I have to laugh at your ignorance to believe that you're going to find out about people's backgrounds because a cursory pursuit of a background for people only goes just so far. Unless you're a police officer and you have that access to those files. But then again, you're not allowed to just randomly look up police files on random people. But even if you do, you probably, let me try to explain this to you, little fellow. Let me try to explain this to you. Now we're going to talk about none other than Bubba Gums as soon as I'm done with this. Bubba Gums, he's another famous YouTuber. Little fella, if you had the money to hire somebody and they looked up a person's background, 3 things you will never find out looking up somebody's background. 3 things that will only show up when the police themselves are doing a background search for a job working as a fireman or a police officer. One thing is a juvenile record under the age of 12. You're not going to ever see that. It's never going to be shown. And if you think you're going to go back into somebody's history to before they're 12 years old, then you have more problems than you think you have. And and a lot of people are going to agree with that. That's the first thing. Juvenile records under the age of 12, you are never going to see it. Not going to happen. There's a word. Those are pretty much automatically expunged. EXPONGED. Expunged. You're never going to see that. A juvenile record under the age of 16. Not going to happen. That has been expunged. It's not going to happen. The word expunged means that you pay the court a fee and they agree that your record is not for public knowledge forever and ever, in perpetuity. So the only people that could ever look up someone's record under the age of 16 is a ranking police search for a background check for the job of being a police officer or a fireman. Any record that has been expunged is persona non grata. Can't see it, little fella. You are a trip, man. I'm going to find out. We have research, inside information. Dude, you got to learn to enjoy your life a little bit. I know you don't get out much. Everybody knows that. But you got to learn to enjoy. Weren't you going to go on vacation 4 months ago? What was that, last year and the year before? Why don't you go on vacation, dude? I seem to recall you were going on vacation sometime in April or May. How did that work out for you? You need to learn to relax, dude. You're going to give yourself a stroke. And then You are going to deprive thousands of people of thousands of hours of pleasure to listen to you rant and rave and rage quit on YouTube like you rage quit last week. Oh, that was funny. That was really funny. That was really funny. You know, that, oh, and maybe instead of spending so much time on YouTube, maybe you should read a dictionary or something and learn what the words mean. You really need, that would be a good thing for you to do. That would be a really good thing for you to do. Let me go back to my channel to see if there's any super chat. Not yet. Not yet. Okay. Scott Del Fuego. Keep having calamansi. It is high in potassium. Thank you, Scott. I will. Hey, buddy, says, how much are you losing? You know what? I don't know. I don't have a scale. I will show you. I will show you. Okay, I will show you where I started and where I am today. Okay, so you see this piece of wood here? Right here? Okay, and you see the wood behind me? Right here? If I just touch my back to the piece of wood behind me, I can put my belly right up against here. Okay, so here. See here? See me put my hand through here like this? I'm only touching my back lightly. See my hand here? Okay. When I started fasting, my belly was like this. It almost touched this vertical stanchion. But when I turned around like this, I had to really push through. Now my waist fits right through. Right through. It's not even touching. So this was also over here like that. So that is now today 6.5 inches off my waist. And I don't know how much weight, but it's a good question. So did I mention that I am taking up a collection for foods for the FIESTA, for my landlord and the barangay captain, and I will show them the amount of money I collected because I think it's a worthy cause. So far I have collected $115. If you guys want to change that by a few dollars, you will see me hand that money, half of that money, less YouTube's fees, to my landlord and the barangay captain. I'll make sure the two of those are together. Or her other oldest son. The barangay captain, he may or may not want to be in the video. Although we've been friends for 9 years now. So I've collected $115, say $120, half of that is $60, less 30%, $40. My landlord gets 2,000 pesos of that money. And that will go, she will spend 30,000 pesos on food. And you'll see all of that the day of the fiesta. Scott says, have more calamansi. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go get one. Miss Messiah vlog. Hey, Ruby, how you doing? Hey, girl, I hear you're having a baby. I haven't talked to Frank in a while. Okay, congratulations. Oh, man, that's really nice. That's good news. And I wish you the best. We all wish you the best. Thanks for that. Well, Dennis, why don't you get Rubalicious' link up, please? Can you do that for me? Or Scott, get her link up on the page and let's share the love Rubalicious has. Many blogs. She's a very upbeat woman, and she loves She loves TikTok. Me, I'm not so much. I can't do any TikTok. But Ruby, she's a TikToker. So let's share some love from Rubalicious. Thanks for stopping by, Ruby. And if you want to tell us how you should be having a baby this week, I think. No. I think Frank said October. And share some information with us, please, while I go get a calamansi, cut it in half, and devour it on YouTube. In the meantime, let's look at the chat. Imagine if you guys go to Ruby's channel, you'll be able to see a Filipina TikTok that we know. He went on vacation to the other side of the street. Dennis says he's 5 foot tall. Dennis is 5'10" and weighs 172. Well, that's my goal, 170. I don't know that I'll get there. If I get dizzy or weak between now and then, I may have to call it off for a few days, eat, and then go back at it. But I actually don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty, if it didn't happen on day 11 or day 10 when I was in the city walking in the heat, oh my goodness, we have a pot ready for the super chat that's going to be immediately posted on my page of the donations to Nanai. And that donation is from Scott Del Fuego, none other than the snake diet man himself. Now we'll make up a song, okay? We're going to make up a song for Scott Del Fuego because I got to ask Scott, what is, wait. Give me a moment. I got to look something up. An angoraphobic. Angoraphobic. See how I know those words, right? Off the top of my head. Whoa! Here we are, man. And here we are, my bright little star. Okay, so Scott's an angoraphobic, by the way. Oh, he's a big one when it comes to angoraphobia. Actually, Scott is so paranoid about being in crowded places or leaving one's own home or being in places from which escape is difficult. That's what an angoraphobic is. A person with an extreme irrational fear of entering crowded places or leaving their own home or being in places where escape is difficult. So let's talk about Scott's angoraphobic tendencies, and then we're gonna bang a pot. I don't mean to disrespect Scott Del Fuego in any way, but let me tell you how angoraphobic Scott is. And then you'll understand that Scott is not a well person. Not at all. Okay? He's a paranoid individual that I've tried to get him to come out of the closet, his angoraphobic personality traits. Thank you, Dennis. So let's. I'm going to post the definition of angoraphobic, and then we're going to talk about Scott's problem, because Scott certainly has a problem with paranoid. He's a paranoid dude, and I'm going to tell you how paranoid Scott is. Scott is so paranoid that he had to do work out in the backyard Thank you. Yes, we're going to post her link more. We're going to try to get her some subscribers. So this is the definition of agoraphobia, and Scott is, by definition, agoraphobic. Let's, what we could do is I could put this on, I'm gonna mute this, I'm gonna turn it around, I'm gonna mute it, and we're gonna go to Ruby's page, and you'll see the beautiful Rubalicious. Okay, I'm muting the microphone until we get back. There you have it. That's the beautiful Rubalicious page, and that's the link is up on my screen. And now I don't mean to belittle Scott in any way, shape, or form, but and I'm not doing this to belittle you, Scott, because you know I love you, but you fit into the agoraphobic category, and I'm going to try to explain to you people, and I'm with a song in the form of a song. First off, I need some energy. I'm going to eat both of these halves of the calamansi. Boy, my taste buds have increased so much since I stopped smoking. When I was smoking, I wouldn't even be able to taste this. Now, I taste it. As Scott said, like a hyena feasting on the carcass of a zebra. Yeah. So the angoric aspect of Scott Del Fuego. Wait. First, we have other stuff to do. We have to get the pen. Did I drop that? Oh, here it is. The thing rolls all over the desk. Scott, thank you. Salamat. We're gonna sing a song. The angoric phobic Scott Del Fuego, because he is. When I tell you how angoric he is, you're not going to believe it. So now we have $120. $120. Thank you. So, Scott, for all you people that think that Scott Well, he went. He did take a ride the other day, a couple of weeks ago. But there was a reason for that. But let me tell you how agoraphobic Scott is. Right? I don't mean to do this to you, Scott, but I'm gonna share with these people what you told me, and it ain't pretty. It ain't pretty. Scott Del Fuego, he's a friend of mine, but you must know we're going to expose one of his weaknesses. Scott and we talk about construction, and he's okay with that, but not when it's outside the house. If he's working in his bathroom, Scott is working just fine. But when it comes to working outside, no, no, no. No, no, no. Once we talked about going outside and painting a fence. Scott got so apprehensive he started shaking. There was an old abandoned car in his driveway that had to be removed from his driveway. He had to call in a tow truck on his cell phone. But he was afraid to go outside his house alone. Then when we talked about the tow truck driver arriving, he was okay and believed he could be surviving out there with company. But painting the fence would mean he'd be alone. And that would put Scott outside of his zone. So Scott and I agreed on an exercise program of walking to the park and looking at the ducks. He started shaking and shaking and shaking. I said to relax, there's another way. If you don't want to go outside and get into the fray, instead of walking amongst the people in your hood, there's another way that will be just as good. Instead of walking miles and miles outside, buy a treadmill and hide inside. Scott, this is the only way you can get exercise. You need to walk to stay alive. So if you can't walk outside to go look at the ducks, buy a treadmill and you won't see the ducks. That's all I got. That's all I got. But I think that was worth $5. Yeah, Scott's an agoraphobic, and he's really, really paranoid about going outside, and he needs the exercise. So we talked about he needs the vitamin D from the sun. He needs to move around, get his heart pumping and stuff like that. But he's afraid to go outside, my friend Scott. So I told him to buy a treadmill, and he's going to do that this week, and he's going to start working on the treadmill, and because he's just afraid of going outside and being outside and being around people. I mean, even though what it is, Scott was a police officer years ago, and he's seen so much of the street life that he's afraid to go outside now. So when I told him to get a treadmill, he said, "That's Michael. That's why we're friends. You teach me how to do plumbing. You show me how to fix electrical things that for me are simple, but for him would maybe take a little bit more thought. I explained to him how to fill under tiles in his house to make the tiles flush with one another, how to paint, moldings, things like that. Scott takes my advice with everything construction. So the only new thing is that Scott's agoraphobic personality, now he's tapping me on the shoulder. "Thanks, buddy." And he can't be here to do that, but I can feel the love. Because Scott has a treadmill on its way from Amazon, and now Scott never has to leave the house again. Scott can stay in the house until he has to go buy food. And then maybe he could get somebody to accompany him, because he's done with outside. He told me, "I'm done with going outside. I don't like walking down the block. I don't like going to see the ducks by myself. What am I to do?" And I says, "Treadmill. Buy a treadmill." His face lit up like it was a light bulb moment. And now he has a treadmill on the way. Who's better than Scott? Phaseophobic. What if phaseophobic, as the great Aloe de Winter says, me and Aloe are going to do a bunch of shows. We have a show coming up next week. We're going to expose. Don't expect much from Aloe the next few days. He's busy. He's doing a show today, and he's going to be busy. Even I will not contact Aloe until Tuesday. So if you guys are trying to get in touch with Aloe de Winter, he's just not going to be available until next Tuesday. Unless you are part of his plan between now and Tuesday. What if one of these YouTube tough guys accosts me? I will be shaking and melting down. Well, then in that case, there's another fella on YouTube that you can resort to his methods. If you are in any kind of fear, anything at all, even if someone says, "I want to meet you, Scott. I want to say hello." Call the police. You have the number. You used to be a policeman. Call the mayor's office. Call the mayor's office. Buy a treadmill so you don't have to go outside. And walk directly from your house into your garage, limiting how much time you spend outdoors. Walk from the house to the garage. Get in the car. Open the garage door. Leave the house. Go buy your food. When you get to the market, just circle around till you find a spot right in front of the supermarket, or wait. And then when someone pulls out, pull in, and then go in the supermarket. Limit your time outside the house. And when you come back, you jump on your treadmill, because that will give you It will give you the stimulation you need. Is that what? What else can I help you with, Scott? Anything else? Oh, Dennis screwing up Scott's plans. Many stores deliver now. Flying Circus, Dennis is screwing up my plans too, because every time I give Scott advice, he sends me money. So don't be telling him that type of stuff. He's not a well human being. He's afraid to leave the house. He doesn't even know about takeout. Come on, Dennis. Don't do that. Flying Circus says his problem is different. He's afraid to enter into his house. Hey, Flying Circus, I saw a picture of your wife. I'd be afraid to enter the house as well. Flying Circus has a wife. From a distance, she looks a little bit like Pluto in the cartoon Pluto when she's not well shaven. When she's shaven from a distance, she looks like a timberjack, clean shaven timberjack. When she's close up, Jabba the Hutt. Yep, Jabba the Hutt. Flying Circus is married to Jabba the Hutt. Nah. He's married to one of the ugliest women I've ever met in my entire life, I've ever seen. If that's his wife, he sent me a picture. I only looked at it one time, and I'll remember that face forever. She looks like Jabba the Hutt. Flying Circus. So I'd be embarrassed to go into the house as well, and ashamed, and afraid. All of those things, all of the above. So thank you, Scott, and your donation went into Nanai's coffers. Thank you very much. So does anybody else have a question about fasting? I don't know how much weight I lost. My wife, I didn't want to say that. Flying Circus, remember we've been talking about same-sex dating site bloggers? That would be Flying Circus. He's not kidding about that. So Allo and I have discussed, Allo knows of same-sex bloggers in the Philippines community, and that he's going to expose them. And Flying Circus and I have a correspondence in the mail in regards to that topic. So he's just going to come out of the closet now, Flying Circus. And he just came out of the closet. Let's bang a pot. Flying Circus has a wife with a bigger Adam's apple than him. What does that mean? It means that Flying Circus has come out of the closet today. Yay, Flying Circus, he has come out. He's not the only one, I'm sure of that. Allo has a few of the Philippines bloggers on a list that he won't tell me about. So thank you very much, Flying Circus, for sharing. And I won't break your chops, but I did see Flying Circus's wife. God, she's ugly. She is ugly. So let's go over here. LLO. Okay, that's me. So if nobody has a question, I'm probably going to end this live stream. I think I hear music up the block, but I'm not going there today. I went there last night. There might have been, 200 people at one of my friends' houses. And I don't even know whether he was there or not. He's got a lot of, he's actually a very, very friendly and very wealthy Filipino, and he does that for the FIESTA week. For the whole week, at 6 o'clock, he starts dishing out food, and there was probably 200 people from all over. Everybody knows this fellow, and he won't be at Nanai's party. He'll have a party at his house as well. I'll just stop by and say hello. If you could even get in his gate. Not so easy to get in there anymore. There's so many people. So let's see what we have here. Another comment. Take my wife, please. That's right, baby. Take his wife. So I think I'm going to end the stream in a few minutes. I'll give you guys 5 minutes. Me, personally, I want more water, ice water. I have ice water with lemon right here. Calamansi. Scott could share a little bit with us. Did they give you a due date when that treadmill is coming? This way you get some exercise, Scott. I hope you're still here to answer that, because then while you're on the treadmill, I could do other stuff. Unless you're working, and then I won't bother you either. Wow, they're just like 8 or 9 seeds just went into the water. I might eat those too. Sustenance. 8 seeds. 8 lime seeds. A treadmill. Yeah, soon, Mr. Fazio. And then Scott says, the benefits of a treadmill are a treadmill running hard and going nowhere. Hey, Mike, we were just talking about Scott Del Fuego being agoraphobic. Did you see the comments above? Scott's admitted to me that he's agoraphobic a while ago. You know what agoraphobic is, Michael? No, Scott's not that man. That's what John Blaze told me about this morning. Somebody's on afraid of crowds, right? A treadmill. Who is we? You and the mouse in your pocket sounded more like you. So, Mike, Scott is agoraphobic. Yeah, he's afraid to leave the house. So I suggested, he's afraid to walk down the street by himself. And mostly he's by himself working on his house. He's doing a lot of construction in his house. So what I suggested is for him to get exercise. If he's afraid to go outside and afraid to walk down the block, I told Scott, buy a treadmill. And then you get some exercise. What do you think about that, Mike Dowdy? Think that's a good idea? I'm missing something here. The snake oil. Okay. Yeah, his wife would probably be good to put that new cast iron tub in. You know, I remember when I was a kid, um, I used to do a lot of bathrooms with one of my uncles. He was really good at bathrooms. He could do plumbing, electric, tile, cement work, grout the floor. He was really good at that. But like most of the tubs back in the old days were 5 foot 6 inches, 66 inches. Well, Scott's afraid of crowds also. I don't like crowds, but I'm not afraid to go outside or walk to the beach or anything like that. But Scott, he's uh he's grown to be more and more paranoid as he gets older. So when my uncle and I used to put in bathtubs, they didn't have that new paint. By the way, there's a paint that you could use on on an old cast iron tub. At the time, it was like $100 to paint the tub back when we were young. But if the tub was really chipped up and they wanted a new tub because we were putting in a new bathroom, my uncle, not me, my uncle was a big man, 6 foot, 220 pounds, but he was really, really super strong. He would put the bathtub on end, and then he'd put the bathtub over his shoulder. And then I would get behind him and I'd push him up the stairs. He used to put the bathtub on his back and go up the stairs. He was a really strong dude. So, but they have a chemical now. You put it on the tub, but nothing is as good as a new bathtub, but it works if you're not going to redo the whole bathroom and everything in it. They have a chemical process where it etches the old gloss, the old glaze, and then you clean it with another compound, maybe acetone, I'm not sure, and then you paint it on. But you got to be careful it doesn't make drips and runs on the tub. So you if you do it, I don't know how to do it. It's something I never did. I never even watched anybody do it. I've seen the end result. Apparently, whoever did it did a good job, but I've never watched anybody, and I've never tried to do it myself. But Scott was telling me that a new bathtub is $1,500, and probably that process is $300, $400 at best. So you save $1,100 by doing it like that. Why am I not be able to see that comment? Queerdo, I can't see your name. I'm not afraid of crowds. However, I hate being coupled up in small places with stupid people. I could agree with that. Thank you for stopping by. I never saw that name. Here it is. Queerdo Tigra. Queerdo Tigra. Okay. Queerdo. I thought it was Guido. But that's not the word Guido. That's Queerdo. Queerdo is like a weirdo, but it's a queerdo. Thanks for stopping by. Well, you know, flying circus. Everybody has everybody has their foot, you know, what they're really good at. And everybody has things that they can't do. I know a guy. Named Scott Del Fuego that's afraid to leave the house and walk down the block. So when I suggested to him to buy a treadmill, he did. How's that for paranoia, Flying Circus? Flying Circus says, I'm afraid of getting stuck in a paint can with a child-proof lid. Imagine if you could get into a paint can. You mean paint? I'm not. A paint can. But you're saying you're going to go inside the paint can? I don't think so. I think you're lying. I think you're fibbing. Mike Dowdy. But then again, you did come out of the closet today, so maybe you're sharing. Do you have some sort of fetish besides all these years being in the closet, married to a woman with a bigger Adam's apple than you have? Do you have like a fetish where you can climb into a paint can, like a birthday cake, like that, and then you're afraid they're not going to be able to open up the can to get your... So you, instead of going to male strip clubs or same-sex strip clubs, and you, instead of jumping out of a birthday cake, you jump out of a paint can with a child-proof lid on it. I'm not clear on what it is that you do. What's this child-proof paint can stuff all about? Let me surmise. You are married to a woman with a bigger Adam's apple than you are. Aloe is going to expose same-sex bloggers from the Philippines. That would be you. You're married to a woman with a bigger Adam's apple than you. And you jump out of paint cans with lids that are childproof at same-sex nightclubs. Did I get that right? I paid 45,000 pesos for a tub at City Hardware in Batangas and then had to ship it there. So you paid $800 for a tub. Okay. Yeah, well, they don't have those type of items in paint. All right, so they don't have those type of items. So I'm going to just say thank you to everybody. I'll give you guys... Well, Thanks, Aloe. Aloe has now confirmed, Flying Circus, that you're one of the men that were going to be outed for same-sex dating sites. But Aloe, he shared that with us. He shared that with us about 10 minutes ago. And so that's one less. You could scratch him off the list. Aloe's got a list of same-sex dating sites, men that are from the Philippines. He's got a list. He's got a list. And not only does they're checking for more bloggers. They're checking for more bloggers from the Philippine genre that are on same-sex dating sites. And Aloe has this list, and he's checking it twice, and so are the researchers that back him up. So now we have Batman and Aloe working together. Batman is really computer savvy. But Batman can't get into police files. But other people I know can. But I don't need that stuff, so I don't really ask for it. But well, unless you talk really shitty about my ex-girlfriend Daisy May, then I'm gonna ask for certain pieces of information about your life. And if you don't like the results, well, that's not my problem. But if you have talked bad about Daisy May, because she's not a blogger and she's not with me anymore. And if you continue to do that, then I will, maybe I'll go into your past. Like, I have a friend of mine named Ken who knows all about, biology. And he was the person that helped me with the word what autophagy means. He explained how the body breaks down the cancerous cells and how the body breaks down fat on a live stream and in private. So my friend Ken has great knowledge of many things. So I will confer with Ken when I need information about ketosis and autophagy. And autophagy is how the body breaks down fat after 5 days, and your body starts to feed off. Now, do I look tired? Do I look weak? Do I sound like I have a headache? Do I look nauseous? None of that. So I don't have the symptoms. So I'm going to read off who's donated. To the Fiesta Foods from my landlord. We have $120 now. We have John Blaze for $20. Oh, I spoke with John Blaze this morning. Rest assured, my name was not in the envelope that came from the FBI. 100%. But I could have told you that. Who else do we have here? John Blaze, lot of retirement for 5. Lot of retirement, that's 25. Simulacron for 10, 35. The Bantallion Brawler for 50, 85. Lot of retirement again for 10, 95. Last night I did a premiere at 4 o'clock in the morning. Tuna Kahuna for 20, 115 Tuna Kahuna. And today, Scott Del Fuego for 5. We'll say thank you. And then I have something else that I wish to do. And I'll show you what that is. In the meantime, if there's somebody out there that wants to donate some money, some super chat to my landlord, she'll spend 30,000 pesos to have a fiesta for the whole neighborhood. I'm going to take this little toy here. My little yellow case with the extra batteries and my radio controller and my iPhone 13 Plus, 512 gigabyte storage. It's a great phone. It's a great phone. And then I'll show you what this is. A Mavic Air 2 drone. Yep. Hold on, I want to put this cover back on. I'm going to go look next door to see if Scotty is next door. And if he's next door, I'm going to fly. So this is what I painted it yellow. That's part of my phone number in case it gets lost. And it has, this is the Air 2S. It has 2 vertical sensors in the front, on the top here. It has 2 forward sensors. It has 1 bottom sensor, and it has 1 sensor in the back. and it takes a certain battery, and the battery lasts 17 minutes if it's just flying in one spot or just move around, but 13 minutes if you go up high and move it around. They don't last long, the batteries. And the more you use the battery, the less they get. So the batteries are, considering the amount of power it takes to fly one of these, I think the batteries do quite well. And I think they're coming out with a better battery. So this is the Air 2S. It's a nice toy. It's an expensive toy. It's not like you can't. It's not a 200. The case, and it also I have a 6-way charger. So if you have a drone, there are chargers that are 3-way, 4-way, 5-way. This is a 6-way charger. You can charge 4 batteries and your cell phone and the controller. There's another part. So you guys can look at the screen for a minute. I gotta look outside, do something. Dominic. Dominic. Okay. I put a bunch of lumber out for the neighbors. For the fiesta. I thought that was Dominic. Dominic is the chef. So the Air 2S is I like that drone. Okay, so let's go back. Oh, Jack Thompson. Oh my God, maybe we'll have to stay on a little bit longer. Jack Thompson is in the house. Wow, there was a lot of comments. Okay, let me get through this. Hold on. So Scott says, I got some yellow paint for my fence. Oof. Oh, he's kissing butt now, yeah? Yellow paint? Look, I got everything here is yellow. Look at this. Look at this. Look. I even, oh, that's something else. I even got a yellow marker. A yellow marker for my, where are my pens? Yeah. Oh, what happened to my marker? Huh. Fell out of my pocket. I had a yellow marker. Oh, there it is. Look at this, Scott. Yellow marker. A yellow alcohol marker. You know that you couldn't buy one of these in an automotive store anywhere in Bohol. No automotive. They've never heard of this. Oh, we have Super Chat. Oh, thank God I have a pot. Thank God I have a pot handy. Oh, my God. Look at this pot. This is you know what I get a kick out of? Let me read a few comments. Let me see who the Super Chat is from. Loose Pagan Pants for the Fiesta. We'll write that down right away. Let me go through the comments, Louis. Otherwise I get tied up. Give me a moment. What's good, Bubba? Jack? Yes, flying manicure. Jack is, he's a sissy. He gets a manicure and a pedicure. Real men bite their nails. Everybody knows this. Ignore those lists. I was young and needed the money. Be best to be honest. Hey, DNC, thanks for stopping by. Thank you very much. I love it when he comes because he's one of my favorite people on YouTube. Why? Because he has imagination. That supersedes Flying Circus, by the way. But even Flying Circus would admit that. DNC's and that Panda edition watch, that's a really nice watch that you bought last week. DNC, put the link to your channel up. DNC bought quite an expensive watch. Not a day watch. Not a watch that I would buy any longer. It might be a watch that the great Alo de Winter would buy, and Alo even complimented on his choice of watches. DNC bought a real man's watch. Yes, it does go underwater. But it's a lot more than that. It's a chronometer with multiple functions. Yeah, it's called the Panda Edition. I forgot the name of the watch itself. Go to DNC, get the link to your channel up there, please, and get that watch. Show them what a real man's watch looks like. And so even Flying Circus knows that DNC is a better creative artist. Flying Circus tends to stick with the bizarre. DNC, he gets right down to the nitty gritty. When he wants to amuse you, he will get into the nitty gritty of your mind. He has done this in the past on multiple occasions. One of the videos that DNC made is so funny. I'm going to give him a free shout out. I'm going to give him a free song. DNC, he moves into your mind. He takes little pictures of you and puts them where most people never go. He makes an entire show of placing your mouth on little things that go in and out. DNC, he could embarrass you. He's done it before, and he'll do it again. If you talk about my friend DNC, chances are you'll be off the channel in 3. Nobody comes on my channel ever and talks about my friends. That's a rule. That's why we don't have a lot of people participating on my channel. They're not allowed to talk about my friends. Jack was very insolent last week, 2 weeks ago. His insolence moved him to another level in my mind. He lost his wrench, Jack did, Jack Thompson. You are never, ever going to come on my channel and belittle one of my friends. Now, that's not what Jack did. Jack allowed other people to belittle me. That's true. And he lost his wrench for that. And he came back yesterday wondering if he could come back onto my channel. And I feel sorry for Jack. He's no longer capable of pumping out videos, and the construction industry is dead where he is. He's gone through some hard times. I had a weak moment yesterday about 11 o'clock in the morning, and we took Jack back into the fold. So for those of you who wanted to know where Jack went, he was persona non grata because he allowed people to talk smack about me, knowing better, but it won't happen again. One way or another. He'll either keep his wrench or he'll lose privileges of having a wrench forever. Not that he cares, but I care. Hey, Jack, how do you like me now? His insolence was great. Jack Thompson. And that's one of the reasons why Jack lost his wrench. He saw somebody talking nasty about Daisy and didn't correct him. But I'm going to correct that guy. I'm going to go to my friend in Connecticut and I'm going to share my knowledge about the guy that was smack talking Daisy. Hey, that's going to happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share all my knowledge. But to be honest, I've been holding back. When Al DeWinter has a list, we're going to find out if you're on that list. We're going to find out. And in my opinion, you may not be found out to be on that list, but in my opinion, same-sex dating sites for that guy, very, very distinct possibility. Very distinct possibility. I've seen too much of his worthless, but he is going to get a feature on expat trash of the Philippines. That I got a mail about. He's on the list. He's on the list. So I'm going to wait for the expat trash expose. I'm going to wait till Alo's researchers are done researching, and then we're going in full stroke. We're going in deep. Yes, we are. So let's go to the bottom of the chat here. Nobody should smack talk Miss Daisy. Thank you. I agree, says Mike Dowdy. John Blaze. Where is John Blaze? He's not here. I did talk to John Blaze for 40 minutes this morning. Yes, but their backs have no glue. Oof. Oh my God. I got electric football game from the Green Stamp store. I remember Green Stamps. Green Stamps were New Jersey. That was from New Jersey supermarkets, or was that a different stamp? Mike Dowdy was thrown off of Facebook. I don't even do Facebook. Cool, I didn't know they are still around. Oh, this was back in 1970. Yeah, that was my grandmother. You know, when I used to go visit my grandmother, she would have a drawer in the coffee table had a drawer in it, and she just put the green stamps in the drawer. And during the holidays, she would let us lick the green stamps and put them in the books. I remember that. We would lick a lot of stamps too. Jack Thompson says Frank Lawn formed him for cyberbullying and he could only comment on live. Is that true, Jack? Is that really true? All kidding aside. Yeah, YouTube's got new. I've made comments that were, for me, it would just be, if someone put a comment like the one I made the other day on my page, I wouldn't think twice about it. YouTube said, popped up on the screen, are you sure you want to leave this comment? Would you like to check out the YouTube guidelines? If it says that, don't change the comment. Then I changed it, and it still gave me the same message the next time. Then I changed it again, and the message went away. So YouTube is reading every comment. You're right. But Jack, you deserve to be punished. At the same time that you let people smack talk Daisy, you got blocked. If it was up to me, had you not come back, you would not have a wrench. Jack, he claimed he can't find my channel. But I showed, yes, I saw that flying circus. He lies. He lies about certain things. Mike Dowdy, that must be who got me, Jack. I went and looked where I left a negative comment and it was gone. Something about a mule and donkey show. Come on, man. That's going to get you struck every time. He'll spend 3 or 4 days flagging that channel. You can't talk like that on YouTube anymore, dude. Circus is a bit of a... He's hilarious. I enjoy all of it. I told him many times, try to enjoy your time on YouTube. Some of it can be quite entertaining, but he has no understanding. Pig Nose is hilarious too. I've had 3 Twitter accounts permanently deleted. Wow. Hey, Aloe de Winter is in the house. We're going straight down to Aloe's comments. Hey, heat emergency is over down to 94 degrees, says Scott. Jack Thompson talking about flying circus spur nips. It's up to Jack now. I have a delicate stomach. Aloe de Winter. And let there be pot. Bang. Aloe de Winter. And Michael Fazio. When Aloe is done with his research of one, we're going to have some fun. We're exposing all the Philippines bloggers on same-sex dating sites. Aloe's researcher, he has those rights. He's found multiple people in the Philippine genre that are on same-sex dating sites, but he refuses, he won't tell me who they are. He thinks I'm going to slip like Bubba Gums does when the guards go into his jail cell. He falls down on the bed and he slips, but he does it on purpose. Thank you for stopping by, Aloe. Aloe, thank you. Have a very, 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 very rude. Aloe de Winter. Hello, Flying Circus. Jack Thompson and the rest of the chat. Aloe de Winter. Thanks, Jack. Great show, Sir Aloe. I sent as many people that were on my chat. I gave them the opportunity to go see your channel earlier in the stream. We want to keep things on the up and up. Mike, whoa, watch it with the big words. The little fellow will think you are speaking Visaya. Insolence. Insolent. Hey, we got to get it. Blaze is awesome. Recipe for Spurnips is up. Let's get Louis Pagan Ponce. And we'll talk about... Louis wasn't here, so we're going to talk about Scott Del Fuego. Scott Del Fuego, I want you to know Louis Pagan Ponce is anagoraphobic. He's anagoraphobic, which means he's afraid to walk outside. He's afraid. He used to walk down the block to go see the ducks. But now he don't go walking outside anymore. And I told him, you have to leave the door. You need exercise, Scott Del Fuego. Otherwise your heart, it will blow. Scott Del Fuego said, Michael Fazio, what should I do? I thought really hard, and I said, listen to this. I said to Scott Del Fuego, if you're afraid to walk down the block, go on the internet and order a treadmill. A treadmill will fix your mental anguish that exists of walking down the block, Scott Del Fuego. If you are afraid to go outside your door, send me $10 and I will give you some more information. The treadmill one cost you $5, but I have a lot more in store than just walking out the door. Scott Del Fuego's not so smart, you know, and he's painting his house, which means he has cans of paint that may be childproof. And Scott doesn't know how to open those cans. He's been messing with them since the show began. He's sending me email after email, Mr. Fazio. How do I get the paint can open? He wants to know. Scott, I suggest you send me some more super chat, and I will help you some more for the super chat. That's right, baby. Scott's been sending me emails all morning. How do I get these paint cans open? And I won't tell him. I'm actually asking Scott Del Fuego for another $5 donation, and I will explain how you can get a child-proof paint can open to Scott Del Fuego if he sends me a super chat. All right, wait. $1. For $1, I will send you, I will give you a schematic. I will make a picture and give it to you in 3D for $1. It's worth $1. And then you got to understand, Nanai gets that half of that money for the Fiesta. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add Lewis's money, which Lewis right here. Lewis, there's a spot right here. Lewis, for $10. Now we have $135 for the Fiesta Foods. Half of that, less YouTube's 30%, goes to Nanai. Now my landlord will, and the barangay captain, who is her son. My landlord is 83 years old. She will hire three people to only cook and chop vegetables. There'll be a video of this. In fact, I have a video. I'll show it to you in a minute. Oh, we got $2. And $2 appeared. So I'm going to make a diagram. I'm going to show Scott. I'm going to show Scott how to open up a can of paint. How to open up a child-proof can of paint. Even a child could do it if the child was smart. But there's a lot of children that can't open up cans of paint. And that's why they make child-proof cans of paint. So I'll show you the video of the Fiesta. First, I got to see who sent the super chat. Then I got to bang a pot. Okay, let's get that done. What happened here? Louis Pagan Ponce. Scott Del Fuego. He needs to know. All those emails didn't go to waste. Thank you, Scott Del Fuego. You know how I feel about dump Trump flying circus. Don't get me started. No. It's not that one. Agoraphobic. Pelican arm syndrome. That's a side issue. The anagoraphobic stuff is Scott was afraid. Scott was afraid to go out even to his backyard. So he said, Michael, and I'm going, Scott, we can solve this problem really quick. If you're afraid to go outside, if you're afraid to walk down the block, if you're afraid to go see the ducks, if you're afraid to walk in the backyard for exercise, buy a treadmill. And Scott went like this. Oh my God. Why didn't I think of that? And it just cost him $5 for the information. And now he ordered a treadmill on the net. He's got a treadmill coming soon. But it cost him $5. Now it cost him another $2 for me to show him how to open up a can of paint. Go figure. I should sell my construction knowledge on the internet. We got to add it on. We're up to $132 now. Scott, for another deuce. Wait, let me make sure the little fella, he's going to screenshot that so he could send it to the authorities that I'm collecting money for the barangay captain's Fiesta Foods. Hey, who's better than you? Who spends more time on YouTube than you? Nobody. You should be. There should be a contest. We should take a vote. Who spends more time on YouTube than anybody else in the whole genre? And then we're going to talk about the great Barry Jordan. Thank you, Scott. Let's super chat, and then I'll show you how to open that can. Scott Del Fuego. He was painting his house. Unfortunately, it came time to put paint on the wall, and Scott was hit with a full-on stall. He had cans of paint with child-proof lids. He went into a frenzy and became a skid mark. His brain had a freeze. He could not resist. He tried to open up the can, but he could not do it. He insists. Scott is not as bright as he seems, even though he's one of my best friends throughout all time on YouTube. I would have not given him this knowledge had he not been my friend and gave me $2. That part rhymed. That was the first rhyme we got out of that little ditty. Scott Del Fuego, he wants to know how to open up a child-proof can, and we're going to teach him right now with schematics, blueprints, and diagrams. We got to get a page here. We need a clean page. Let's get this. We'll go to the page after the money, and this way, if somebody else doesn't see this video, I'll have a video of how to open up a paint can on my channel. Because some of these people are dumber than some of these people are dumber than Scott. Not only could they not open up a paint can, some of the people on YouTube, but they had to send out for assistance to the help to get help. So, all right, so Scott, let's I could even do a little mechanical drawing here. Okay, so here is the top of the paint can. Okay. Now, on the top of the paint can, there's a lid. A lid. It looks like that, the lid. And on that lid, hold on a minute. I got to get this right because Scott's not too bright. I got to get this right because Scott's not so bright. Okay. Okay, so there's the top of the paint can with the the scratch marks on the top. And this is a 1 gallon can, 1 gallon. That's 128 ounces for you morons out there that don't know. That's 128 ounces. And that's because a quart is 32 ounces. Half a gallon is 64. Double that, 128. Most of you don't know that, but I'm feeling generous today because I'm trying to help my friend Scott. So right here, this is the can. This is the label. It says idiot-proof and child-proof. But we have to put idiot, I-D-I-O-T, idiot-proof, child. It says child-proof on one side and idiot-proof on the other side. So this is how it's done, Scott. Let me get my scale. Okay. So this is called a scale. It's a ruler. And this scale is from I'll tell you in a minute. This scale is from the 1960s. Wow. Everything rusts here. You see that rust? I had that scale sitting on my desk for 30 years. 30 years. And now look at it, it's all rusty. From just sitting on my desk here. It never had even any anyway. So everything rusts here. So this is a child-proof can, 1 gallon, idiot-proof can, 1 gallon. So we have the top right here with the scratch marks on it. And then immediately under the top, there's a little space about the thickness of a screwdriver, or in this case, a scale. And how you open up this can is you put the scale or the screwdriver in this little crack right here. Okay? And if you have 2 screwdrivers, that helps. And you take the scale and you go like this. You flip it up a little bit. And then you move it forward a little bit, and then you flip it up a little bit. And then you move it forward. And you try, there's a lip. A lip is underneath. Let me show you how I can show you the lip. Mechanical drafting, I'm going to give you mechanical drafting. Okay, you see right above this line here? Because I know mechanical drafting. Because in order to get an A&P Jet Mechanics license, which I have an A&P Jet Mechanics license, you have to know mechanical drawing. So this lip is the open. You see these dots here? Anybody out there want to try to correct me and tell me I'm wrong, feel free to post it on my channel. These dots mean a hidden line, or something under the cap is hidden. And that's the notch that's under the cap. It should be 2 lines, 2 sets of dots, but I'm running out of room. So these dots mean there's something hidden behind the brim, B-R-I-M, of the cap. So the idiot-proof paint can and the child-proof paint can, you take the scale and you put the scale in there like that, and you flip it up. And if you have 2 screwdrivers, you put one over here and flip it up. And you can put one behind it or in front of it after you take the scale up. Put one here, flip it up, put another one behind it, flip it up. You got to pop it off that hidden line, which is, in this case, the cap has a notch. Another type of line would signify that the cap has a keyway. There are different lines in mechanical drawing to signify different things. So this is a 1 gallon, 128 ounce can of paint that's child-proof and what we in the industry call idiot-proof. So Scott Del Fuego just paid me $2 to show him how to open up a child-proof can of paint. We have to go all in on our next song. Because Scott, I can only say thank you. I say thank you to Scott Del Fuego for the super chat. That money and your previous money will be added up on the way to the fiesta. Then at the fiesta, the asking will continue. You will get to meet Nanai. And you'll get to meet the barangay captain, who is Nanai's son. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. You know what I get a kick out of? The morons on YouTube. They try to bang a pot, but they got no pizzazz. They got a pot that doesn't make noise. They got a pot that doesn't reverberate. Come on. Go out and get yourself a decent pot to bang. Or don't bang a pot. One or the other. So did we add those $2? Let's see. Yes, we did. 1 second. I have to bend down off my box. I know that's a big topic on one of the troll channels. You know what I get a kick out of? The troll channel was asked a serious question. And he won't answer the question. He's afraid to answer a question. And I have a friend of mine named Ken that said why. My friend Ken said that he will not answer the question because if he says yes, he won't be in control of the situation. And he has to be in control because he has NPD. NPD. So if he can't be in control, he can't participate in the festivities. So we are now at $132. Less 30% would be $95. So Nana is going to get $47.50 from Super Chat. Let's go back over here. Yeah, that's what my friend Ken said. My friend Ken said that if he can't be in control, he can't be part of the plan. I just read your comment up there. Laughing. Hello. Hey, Jeff Hart. I saw you on a couple of different channels this week, so I guess you took on the persona of a new persona. Even with a wrench, I can't see the top comments. What comment are you referring to? I cannot see the top comments. I can't go up that far. You'd think that they would let us, but they don't. We got Lewis for $10. Okay, so Jack Thompson Circus, what's up? Mike Dowdy says, ha, 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 Aloe. Says mine all the time. But he hasn't figured it out. Maybe he can spell. I can rename mine to sock account. Maybe he can't spell. He can't spell. He can't read. He can't write. He doesn't know what certain words mean. He professes to know how to do math. He can't do math. And talking about somebody that can't do math, we have to talk about Bubba Gums in a minute. Louis Paganpont says, I know a little fella that will never get rid of a permanent yellow streak that runs up and down his spine. That was just a topic a few days ago. The little fella, apparently somebody on the internet challenged the little fella just to meet and talk at a restaurant. And the response was, if you come to my island and start even dare come to my island, I've spoken with the authorities. You know what I'm going to do tomorrow for fun? I'm going to call up the authorities and I'm going to ask the local police station, have they ever heard the name Michael Thomas Fazio? And if they have, I'm going to say in what pretense, what tense, and they're going to tell me, well, you've got a complaint against your name, threats, which is not true. So there's no way to prove it. But if they won't, first of all, they would never give that information out over the phone. But if they said something like that, I would just tell them, well, look, I'm coming to your island. I'm coming anyway. So don't worry about if there's a complaint against me, if there's not a complaint against me. I've spoken with my lawyer and I've spoken with the police. And you cannot stop somebody from going to an island. You can't do that. Unless there was threats. And he doesn't have any of that. Well, in his mind, he has those things. In his mind is so active. Shit happens up there that nobody can understand. Louis Paganpont says, I know a little fella that will never get rid of a permanent yellow streak that runs up and down his spine. That's true. Heat emergency is over. Wow, I missed that comment from Louis before. I apologize, Louis. Heat emergency, it's down to 94 at 10 p.m. That's pretty hot even for Boston because you're right off the lake there. Okay. Wow. I'm glad I went back up. And I caught that comment because I'd hate to miss any comment that had the word yellow streak or yellow this or yellow that, especially yellow streak. Reminds me of a skunk, a stanky thing. Hey, whoa, watch it with the big words. Insolence. That jams them all up, those big words. And then he pretends to know what the word means. And then he writes, he speaks, he reads, and explains what the word means in a video. And then the word means something else. Okay, I know where we went out. Good show this morning to Aloe from Mike Dowdy. Thanks for tuning in, Mike Dowdy, earlier. Nice comment from Mike Dowdy. He can't, I can read a bit. Aloe's, all kidding aside, you know how smart Aloe is? Aloe is as smart as Lewis and Scott and Dennis. There's not a lot of people that are that smart. Not a lot. Aloe is even smarter than, well, I gave Aloe some paperwork one day, a year and a half ago, and he read it and said, this is what's going to happen with this, and this is what's not going to happen with this. And then that's exactly what happened with this and that. So Aloe is actually smarter when it comes to understanding the Philippines law than some of the people that get paid to interpret the law. That's how smart Aloe de Winter is. I'm not kidding about that. The stick, that's like a Jewish word for the show gets him. Jack Thompson, I only go easy. I only go on senior citizens dating sites. I love that name, Louis Pagan Ponce or whatever. That name cracks me up. Well, thank you, Aloe. That's a good friend of mine. He really is. He's been my friend since you and I became friends about a week before that. We've become that close. As close as you and I have become with Louis Pagan Ponce. Louis Pagan Ponce says, agoraphobic. Pelican arm syndrome. That's another syndrome of agoraphobic. Afraid to go outside, afraid to go outside, afraid of the sun, afraid to walk down the block. Scott is agoraphobic. And you want to know, does anybody know the movie that made the word agoraphobic famous with two of the most famous actors in the world? Let's do a little question and answer period here. Let's do a question and answer. There's two of the most famous actors in the world. And one said to the other, "Are you sure he's going to be home?" And he says he's always home. He's agoraphobic. And I'm going to myself, what does agoraphobic mean? And I looked it up, and I never forgot what it meant after that. And that had to be 30, 35 years ago. Who are the two actors that asked one another, how do you get them open from the inside? Flying circus. You don't. You stay in there until one of the men at the same-sex ladyboy bar that you went to when you came to the Philippines, you are put inside that paint can, flying circus. You go in the paint can. You get off the plane, flying circus. Listen carefully. You get off the plane. And you got a few hours to burn. You go to a ladyboy bar. You get at the bar and you realize, I got to find something to do. And it's a same-sex ladyboy bar. And you say to the waiter, "Sir, is there anything to do here in Manila?" And the waiter goes, "Sir, we have a thing we do with paint cans. We put people in paint cans and we charge them 25,000 pesos to get out." Oh, Jack would probably think this is funny. But Flying Circus says, sounds like a thing I want to do, Flying Circus says. Flying Circus says, "But I have a plane to catch tonight." "What time?" the waiter says. 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock? Gonna cost you 25,000 pesos for us to open up the paint can at the ladyboy bar. I figured that out. I really did. I really did. I didn't want to mention that. I figured that out. But it's good. The other thing that I said is good. Thank you for that. So Flying Circus, he flies into Manila, and he's got a few hours to kill in a ladyboy bar because Flying Circus dances at a same-sex dance club. So he's got skills, Flying Circus. He goes, "What's to do here?" to the waiter. And the waiter, "Sir, you can get in. You could be part of our paint can program." "What's that?" to the waiter. Waiter says, "We put you in a paint can and you tell us what time you want to get out. We give you a price. You can dance a little bit for the other men. We'll get you out 15 minutes early." Flying Circus jumps into the paint can. They put the lid on the paint can. Now Flying Circus is in the paint can. Flying Circus is in the paint can now. But he does not know how to get out of the paint can he's in. He was just in an airplane and decided to commit some sin in Manila. He went to a ladyboy bar in Manila, Flying Circus did. He went as low as the skid. At the bar, he said, "What's to do?" They said, "Jump in the paint can, we'll let you out into the zoo later on. Flying Circus said, yay, it sounds like a deal. What should I do? They said, jump into this paint can. Flying Circus said, how do I get out of the paint can so I can dance for the men? Flying Circus said, how do I get out of this paint can so I can dance for the men? The waiter said, this is a same-sex ladyboy bar. What time do you want to be released? Flying Circus said, I have a plane to catch at 7 p.m. from Manila International Airport. They said, give me 25,000 pesos. We'll open up the can at 6 o'clock. You'll have 15 minutes to dance for the men. If you need more time, it's going to cost you more. Flying Circus said, what about if I can give some lap dances? They said, that's going to cost you more. Flying Circus is a strange dude, man. He's a strange dude. Jack says, it's almost impossible to open up a child-proof paint can. Jack, let me tell you something, Jack. For $2, I'll go over it again. Okay? For $2. I'll give you another ceremony on how to open up paint cans. Flying Circus, my wife opens up all the cans here and does car maintenance. I believe it, looking at a picture of your wife. Flying Circus has a wife that looks like John Henry was big. John Henry was tall. He was 4 foot wide and 12 foot tall with a beard. And without the beard, she just looks like Jabba the Hutt. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Do you believe that? Flying Circus? That's hard to believe. The comment that you left there, that is hard to believe. That's really hard to believe. DNC. The neighbors? No, the neighbors, they know me. They know when I'm banging a pot, I'm making money. It's good for them. Some Filipinos walking by will hear the ring. This must be Foz doing meditation. No, they've been listening to me bang a pot for going on 5 years now, believe it or not. Nobody bangs a pot like the Foz. Nobody bangs a pot like the Foz. Mike, I don't get Playboy anymore to read the articles. LOL, Mike. That's where I am right now. Duty calls multitasking at its best. And Lewis may be telling you the truth about a Playboy magazine. Flying Circus. Do you have a picture of bummer gums on your bathroom wall, Flying Circus? Does idiot have one E or two? If I listen, oh God, could you imagine? You know, he says Fazio's not that smart. I'm about 200 times smarter than you. Not Flying Circus. To the person that says I'm not that smart, any topic you want to talk about except vitamins. I don't know about vitamins, but any topic that has to do with construction, home renovation, roofing and siding, building something, nails, different types of fasteners, different types of paint, different products to mix paint with. You want to talk about flood additives. You want to talk about Benjamin Moore, why it's so expensive. You want to talk about Burr. You want anything you want to talk about, little fella. Anything you want to talk about. I'm 200 times smarter than you'll ever be. You know that, though. And that's what upsets you most. That you have your time in life to learn, experience the world has come and gone. Has come and gone. But that doesn't mean you can't do something in the near future. That doesn't mean you can't go to Italy or Egypt and look at the pyramids, or Italy to see Rome. If you want, I wouldn't want to do that, but you might want to do it because those things are really cool to do. I wish I could do those things. I use a chainsaw to open these types of paint cans. Did you hear that? You heard that too. There's an idiot, a guy out there that believes I open up cans of paint with a chainsaw. Could I? Yes, I could. Have I? I don't remember doing that. I remember punching holes in the top with a 1-inch hole saw, but I never did it with a chainsaw. I guess you could do it with a chainsaw, but I don't do it like that. So that's bologna and cheese. He likes to make up stories because he has no life. So let's got a gong, bang it on. Lewis, with all the pot banging and all the singing, the locals steer clear of Mike. He is highly regarded as shaman in his community. No, everybody knows that why I bang a pot. It's not a secret. It's not, by no means is it a secret. The neighbors know I bang a pot because I make a lot. Hold on. I'm waiting for the...
15 billion years ago, there was a huge explosion of energy, a big bang. So let's ask ourselves, is the cause and the source...
A big bang. Did you hear that we were talking about a pot, banging a pot, and then a commercial came on with banging a pot. Well, a pot, bang. There was a big bang 15 million years ago. I don't believe a word of that happy nonsense. Okay. Flying Circus. Captain Underpants. Flying Circus, is that a link for your channel? Well, whatever. If Flying Circus put it out, you know it's funny. So let's give Flying Circus, let's give you people a moment to go to Flying Circus's channel. Mike, can you organize a lifestyle of the rich and famous bus tour and get a bus full of Chinese tourists to take pictures of the little fella as he's screaming at them? The bus won't go down. That's too many puddles. There's too many puddles in that area there. But I hear they're going to fix that. I heard they fixed it last October or November. A year ago I heard they fixed it. But then I heard they didn't fix it. But I heard they were going to fix it by Christmas. But they didn't fix it by Christmas. Lewis, no bus will go down that road. There are puddles that go 40 feet long and 10 inches deep. In order to get past one of the bigger puddles, and it's called the puddle. It could be its own entity. It could be its own swamp, if you want to use the word swamp. There's a puddle 40 feet long, 15 feet wide, and 10 inches deep that even the tricycle drivers won't go down. And if they do, one of them, if they do, they'll get a running start at about 25 miles an hour, and they'll tell you to hang on. And the tricycle will go like this. I think they do it so they'll get a tip. There's some big puddles on that island. They won't go down. A bus will never go down that. Alo de Winter is a very high Q man, very incisive in thinking and analyst, witty and emotional and intelligent. He really is. Did you see that video they put up on Expat Trash of him? He was being very fair, and that's the way he positioned himself on YouTube in a public venue. But deep down, I think things are different. What about Bob? I don't know who Bob is. If you have a male organ and have never romantically kissed someone that was born with a male organ, you are irredeemably homosexual. If you have a male organ and if you have a male organ and have ever romantically kissed someone that was born with a male organ, you are irredeemably homosexual. That's part of Batman. Batman is coming out right now, baby. Batman is coming. Batman is coming. Have no fear. Batman is coming to the Philippines. Have no fear. He's coming. He's got a satchel of presents that he's going to pass out to the various agencies. Scott said it was a piano, not an organ. I got tricked. What Scott said is true. That Scott said is true. If you have a male organ and have ever romantically kissed someone that was born with a male organ, you are irredeemably homosexual. And I got news for you. In the Philippines genre, there are more than one same-sex profiles up on same-sex dating sites that have been researched, but I can't tell you. If I had that knowledge, I couldn't tell you. But only Aloe and Batman have that knowledge. But it's coming soon, baby. Imagine having, my wife has a male piano, not a male organ. Your wife has a bigger Adam's apple than you do. I believe that, Jack. Lewis, okay, the bus, you know what? If you had a bus safari, maybe you could get the Chinese tourists to go down there and trick them into believing that this is natural. It is a natural swamp. There's no doubt about it. When you go and purview the island is designated swampland. It's a designated, most of the island, about 70% is designated swamp. So that's true. So you could call it a swamp safari. We could call it the Lewis Pagan Pounce Swamp Buggy Ride. Mike Dowdy, get ATVs and organize an off-road challenge. Look out for the Swamp Thing ride. All right. When you wheel, Jack Thompson, now this is true. When you wheel your luggage into a ladyboy bar, what could go wrong? 25,000 pesos to get your luggage back. That's what could go. That's what did go wrong. That's what did go wrong. Okay, so let's get the shirt that Batman sent me. Batman is coming, dude. He's coming to the Philippines. He's touring an island that he's probably going to be looking for a cheeseburger. He likes cheeseburgers. Always be yourself, unless you can be Batman. Then always be Batman. And talking about Batman, and talking about my gifts from Batman. Yesterday, Batman sent me 40 Tico clamps for building structures. Always be yourself, unless you can be Batman. Batman. Sometimes I get blamed for being Batman. I don't. There's no physical proof that Batman and I are the same person, other than the fact that I have foreknowledge sometimes of what Batman does. Batman, he's in charge of the entire Gotham City Police Department. You think he shares all that crap with me? Always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman, then always be Batman. So let me show you. This is one way to transition. Be yourself. Be yourself. Always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman. Transitioning from yourself into Batman. Into a person that shares his knowledge with authorities. Like at the head of the police department at Gotham City. Always be yourself. Unless you can be Batman. Sharing your knowledge with the mayor of Gotham City. Sharing your knowledge with the head of the police department of Gotham City. Always be yourself unless you can be Batman. Then always be Batman. So that's one way to transition. And the other way to transition is to say Barry Jordan 3 times fast. Barry Jordan, he should have taken my advice. Barry Jordan, he's in detention and there might be mice on the floor. Barry Jordan, is you still rolling on the floor laughing about me being attacked from behind, Barry Jordan? Is you still doing that, Barry Jordan? Is you still laughing at what you call the mushroom man, Barry Jordan? Is you still laughing that I gave you advice and you said, I'm a grown man, Groad. I'm a grown man, F you, Fazio. I don't take your advice. Barry Jordan, look what happened to you. Look what happens when you say Barry Jordan 3 times fast. You won't last as the person you were. Watch what happens when I stand up and say Barry Jordan 3 times fast. Barry Jordan faster. Barry Jordan faster. Barry Jordan faster. Barry Jordan faster. Wait a minute. Wait. We forgot the bars. Barry Jordan, he's behind vertical bars. Barry Jordan, he's behind the bars because he didn't take John Blaze's advice. He didn't take my advice. He didn't take the other guy's advice. He's behind vertical bars. This song is dedicated to you. Barry Jordan, you're in a detention zoo. Barry Jordan, Barry Jordan, faster! Barry Jordan, Barry Jordan, Barry Jordan, whoa! And Barry Jordan appears. Look at Barry Jordan. His appearance is there, right there on the screen. And you can tell it's Barry Jordan because Barry Jordan has vertical lips. And the reason he has vertical lips is because when they come into his cell, he bends over, his lips will transform from a sphinx, the circle, into the long form lips. Barry Jordan, he made fun of the Mushroom Man. Barry Jordan, he now resides in the can. His lips are vertical. Lips, I say, his lips go this way and that way too. Barry Jordan, when you talk about the Mushroom Man, did you like where it landed you inside the can? Talking about the Mushroom Man, Barry Jordan is now living in the can. And he has vertical lips. Hey, Barry, bet you wish you would have took my advice now. All right, back to the comments. Okefenokee Swamp. Okay, so I got to get through these comments. Okay, that's it for me. This live stream is going on well over an hour. What time is it now? It's going on. It's 3 hours. You got to give that guy a break because he's got to review this. He's got to call up the lawyer and see if this is even allowed on YouTube, talking about Barry Jordan. Are we allowed to talk about the great Barry Jordan in the negative? We'll find out. So let's, where is this? 3 hours is long enough. Thank you for the $17. Thank you for the money for the foods for my landlord and her barangay son who's going to throw the fiesta. Salamat. Thank you, Scott. Now you know how to open up a can of paint that's idiot-proof. Child-proof paint cans have proven a bear. But now you know, for $2 I care. Thank you, Louis, for your generous donation. Salamat. Thank you, Scott, and thank you, Louis. We are done. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you, Tuna Kahuna, for the most generous donation last night during my live stream premiere. I'm going to say goodbye, folks. Scott, if you're going to be up, let me know now. I'll give you a call. I wanted to tell you something. And I wanted to share some information that's going to be released next week. I have the skinny on one piece of information from next week. I want to share that with you. Aloe, the great Aloe de Winter, is going to be releasing some information. If all goes well, I want to let you know what I know. I'll show and tell. Well, you know what, Scott? You may have fallen asleep. So thanks, Jack. for stopping by. Thank you, Lewis, for stopping by. Thank you, Jeff Hart, for stopping by. Don't really need you here, but thank you. I know where you are, what you did this morning. Mike Dowdy, thank you. Tan Rat, I'm a female, and we've always thought of you. Tan Rat, I'm a Tan Rat 7. Thank you for stopping by. I missed some of these comments. I'm a female, and I've always thought you used a screwdriver to open a can. Yes, nothing has changed in 100 years. You just use it a little differently. Instead of going from the top down, you go from the side in. Tan Rat 7. Yes, you're right. I apologize for missing your comment. Wow. DNC, thanks much. Flying Circus, thanks much. Jack, thanks much. Aloe, thanks much. Thank you. All right, everybody. God day to everybody from the Philippines, baby. And, of course, Amping Permi, which means take care always. That's right. Oy vey and shalom from Rabbi Jubaka in the Philippines, baby. I'm going to go fly the Air 2S, the drone of my own. In front of my home, I'm going to fly. Wish me luck that the childs are outside. The children they love the drone. Let's see if we can find the children to show them the drone. I'm Big Permy, which means take care always. Bye-bye for now. That's right.